Since we had a little musical break, if everybody's ready, I'm going to try to keep us on time. And Mark, do we need to get you set up? Are you ready to go?
I don't have any.
If you could introduce yourself, I'm going to turn this over to Marc Dunham. And Mark is, well, I'll tell you what, you talk about somebody that gets the job done. I can't say enough good stuff about him, and he was good enough to drive all the way over here from the Cherokee Nation, and we're really proud and honored to have him here. So when you're out talking to everybody, we have people from all over here. And one of our elders on our board is Tino Burnett, and I talked to Tino before this meeting, and Tino can only see out of one eye right now. And he is also really good friends with Terry Cunningham, one of our newest board members. And so I was talking to him, and we were talking about Ozark Chinquapins and planting them. And you said that you thought you had a place, somebody you're related to, I think, that we can plant them.
Father.
His father. Where have I heard that at? From AJ, I guess. And so I'm going to turn it over to you if you can introduce yourself and tell a little bit about what you do. So he's got...
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marc Dunham. As Steve said, I work with the Cherokee Nation. I've been with them for 11 years now. And growing up, I always heard my dad speak about the Chinquapin tree, but you know, I grew up in the central part of Oklahoma, and of course, they don't exist there. But you know, after I graduated from high school, we moved back to northeast Oklahoma in the Ozarks, and you know, I kept hearing about this tree, and finally, I don't know, it's been probably 15 years or so ago, I saw my first one. And my dad, he's old enough now that he's, you know, the later generations that remembers the big trees. And of course now, all we see is the small trees, stump sprouts, and you know, the occasional small seed sprout. But anyway, I just kept getting more interested in the tree from there. And when I got on with the Cherokee Nation a few years later, you know, we started working with heirloom seeds, and then also plants and animals that were and still are important to the tribe. And so, you know, we were going through cataloging names of all these plants and animals, growing heirloom crops, and you know, the Chinquapin was one of those things that, you know, we knew was not around like it used to be. And I don't even remember how we got in contact with each other. It's been so long ago now.
You know, I think Terry Cunningham may have been the connection, I don't know. He's good friends with Tina.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we eventually got hooked up with Steve, you know, and then started trying to work together. And during this time, we also tried to get a grant from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which did not happen. So, you know, we were planning on doing a lot of work with Chinquapin tree, but as you all know, if you don't get grants, you don't have the money to do anything. So, I mean, the interest is still there with the tribe. The money is the big thing, but you know, we're still hoping in the future that something more can happen. But as Steve said a while ago, he and I were talking last night, and my parents own land about 10 miles southeast of Jay, which is in northeast Oklahoma. The county I live in, it borders the Missouri and Arkansas lines. So just to kind of give you an idea of where I am. And my dad has 315 acres southeast of Jay, or southwest of Jay. And, you know, we would find a small one here and there, you know, so we eventually got to looking around, and we've got 50 to 100 Chinquapin trees. I say trees. Anywhere from this to, we had one that was a seed sprout. It was about 5 inches in diameter, about 25 feet tall. I saw it a few weeks ago, and it's dead now. So that was our best tree. It's now gone. But it never did make seed. It was, you know, it was in thick forest, and it didn't get much sunlight. There was, I think the tree it came from, what is a seed sprout, a stump sprout tree, but it makes a few every now and then. But anyway, you can see the old dead stump laying on the ground by it. But Steve and I were talking yesterday evening that he'd like to get something started over there. I said, well, let me talk to my dad. I think he might be interested in doing this. So hopefully that will be in the works. But anyway, back to the Cherokee part of this. This tree was very valuable to the Cherokees. This tree is known to some Cherokees as the bread tree because they would take the seeds, pound it into a flour, and make bread with it, which would be a very high protein bread. But also, like they touched on earlier with the medicinal uses of the whooping cough, one Cherokee said that, an elder told us one time that each plant has 14 uses. Whether it be medicinal, this or that, whatever. But so much of this knowledge is gone now. AJ, was it you saying that up to 80–90% of...
That was a quote from Dr. Andrea Hunter from the Osage Nation.
Right. And it's the same with the Cherokees too. The knowledge that was around forever is just gone. Lifestyles change, people are doing everything different from what they did 50 years ago even. So all this knowledge is getting lost daily. With each elder that passes on, something else goes with them. But still, this tree is very important. I've got two Cherokee names for this tree. One of them is Unigeen, the other is Uhageen. And the Cherokee language is a descriptive language. It does not mean Chinquapin, it does not mean chestnut. What it refers to is the burrs on the trees. It kind of resembles a small mammal. So that's what Unigeen means, like it means a small mammal, and it's referred to the burrs. But, which is really interesting, but still, I know there was way more information that on all of these plants that used to be there that is now gone, and probably will never be learned again. But anyway, I don't have a lot to talk about today, but one thing I've been doing with the Chinquapins that my parents have grown on their place is I've been trying to get a little plot started. 2 years ago, we got some seeds off one of our trees, and it's just a little old 12-foot tree. But anyway, it produced quite a few nuts that year. And I had, I think, 25 or so little trees started. Well, the rabbits found them. So guess how many of those I have now? None. Last year, this same tree, it only made 9 seeds. So I have 6 of those growing right now, and hopefully I can keep the critters away from them. But anyway, these trees are not blight resistant in any way, shape, or form. But the way we look at it, if we have one more tree out there, that's one more than what was already there. So, we're trying to do that. And again, hopefully we can get something going with Steve and get a really good test plot going. But anyway, that's all I have for right now. I don't have a computer anymore, that's why I don't have a slideshow. All I have is an iPhone. So. But anyway, I do thank everybody.
Mark is kind of modest about what he does. He did the presentation for us at West Plains, and very interesting. And We had our meeting last year for the first time ever at Chinquapin, and I think we all that were there pretty well agree it was probably the most unique experience we had. I like the bathrooms where it said women or men written in Cherokee, and that had nothing to do with me going to the wrong bathroom. No, I'm just kidding. So it's a unique experience, and what they did with their native gardens and living history, there's not enough time to see all the good stuff they did. And he's pretty modest about their accomplishments, but we were all impressed about how top quality everything was that they did. And you know, I just can't say enough. And so, like with what he's talking about with the plot over there, we're not going to give up on that. We're going to keep sending you more seed. And just because we're not successful one time or don't get them all to make it, that doesn't mean we can't keep planting more and more, and then figuring out what they need at that particular location to make them go though. And so for the first time ever, we have a member of what we're doing actually get a plaque in the shape of Oklahoma, and I'm glad that Eddie Estes is the one that actually cut this out of pure Ozark Chinquapin wood. Years ago, we could not give one of these plaques out because we did not have the wood. It was extremely rare. Nobody knew where it was at, and we had a gentleman that had some in an old barn. In fact, I met that guy, Steve, when you and I were over at Shiloh Museum. And that was the first wood we'd ever gotten, very limited supply. That since then, because of all the outstanding work everybody's done, and so on behalf of the Ozark Chinquapin Foundation, I would like to award you, Marc Dunham, this award, and congratulations to you for all the good work. He drove all the way over here without stopping, and good old AJ gave up his room for him because he knew you need some rest. And again, it comes with having a good host. We want to give you a good old Missouri welcome again, and hopefully you slept some, I hope. You got to see the Current River too. I'm jealous of that balcony. And so, you know, partnerships like this are what makes things happen. And, you know, he's one of these people that, you know, regardless of what the Cherokee Nation or what the government says, he's going to step in and make something happen. And the gardens that they've got are their native plants. I've got corn I planted that y'all sent me, and squash and beans, and even tobacco. He said, now this tobacco seed I'm giving you, I'm just going to warn you, it's about 7 or 8 times more powerful nicotine than what you buy in the store. And so I didn't take up smoking, don't get me wrong. And so, but that's just a really neat thing. And the seed that they have, I planted those in my garden in 2012. And I took care of the whole garden. I had, you know, multicolored corn, you know, the hybrid. I had a little bit of everything. Everything died except the seed from the open pollinators. He sent me, the Cherokee Nation's been saving. You know, that's been saved for hundreds of years by the Cherokee. And
some of it
so
thousands.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And so that's impressive stuff, though. And so we're on the right track with using natural resistance that's, you know, happened over a period of time. And so, man, congratulations to you. Thank you so much.